And good afternoon. This is the Elliott Wave daily update for the NASDAQ 100 being recorded on Thursday, October 30th at 2:38 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. What happened to the market yesterday after Meta and Microsoft reported their earnings got replaced by Amazon and Apple today. Now, what I mean by that is that both Microsoft and Meta seem to disappoint, and Meta took it on the chin, and Microsoft dropped also, although it did manage to come back quite a bit, and then today slid lower again, and is continuing to basically hold a little bit lower, although due to this glorious rally at Apple after the earnings, which, by the way, I want to show you that when Apple first reported, the first print was 262. And it was trading, I think it was trading about 272, 273. And then suddenly 262. And boy, did they bring it back really quick. Kind of hung out just a little bit around 270, and then they just kind of kept going. And I've seen it as high as 282. And this, by the way, every time it ticks above all this stuff, it is new all-time highs. I'm just going to show you in Apple, the high has been 84.69. And if I can go all the way out here to the daily, you're going to see nothing. There's nothing. These are the new all-time highs in Apple. And is that going to be enough, or is there still more to come? See, this on the daily is not showing the whole thing because I had resistance at 275. And then we have 300. And trust me, I think that's where it wants to go. Anyway, back down at the NASDAQ farm. I want to go over how I was looking, or how I am looking at this. Here we are on the hourly chart. Now, I've been really working and trying to get and hoping that the market will complete this minuet third wave within the ongoing diagonal fifth wave pattern. We're moving up, but it's a diagonal triangle in an ending diagonal triangle within a fifth wave of minute. It's actually a minute wave 5, but it's coming within the completion points for a very dynamic rally phase, which actually we can trace back to October of 2022. So this has been 3 years in the making, and it consisted of a whole bunch of stuff in between. A lot of declines, a lot of strong rallies. So this one is extremely strong. Now, I'm still got to leave this open, and here's why. I had come in here at 3, and then I put the 4 there. Let me just move this. I need to put it back over here. And that's really going to bring down those levels, which is going to make this much harder. Because now we're down to that same level that it just peaked its nose above. And it could do exactly that again. So above that, I have to put in 2.6. So this works against it, but I'm leaving it for right now, because what I'm also noticing in the market with Apple and Amazon kind of coming up, everybody else has decided, well, you know what, I'm going to go back up. Like even Meta. Even Meta, the guy was getting crushed today, has decided, well, we'll kind of go back up 8, 7, 8 points. And Microsoft, up 2. Even Tesla is participating, up 4. So, it's just like it gets contagious, and everyone's going to decide. And also today, Netflix decided it's going to do a forward stock split, which I find very interesting. And that's going to be sometime in November as well. So that popped that stock up about 40. So again, we've got some stuff now going on that may be producing a very interesting end of October. So tomorrow's October the 31st. It's a Friday, but it's also the end of a month expiration. And a lot of what took place in Apple about a week and a half ago was rolled out and put into the October 31st expiration. So I'm finding it very, very interesting moving forward when all of this things start to expire tomorrow. Is it just really going to produce, or we're finally going to get that swoosh lower? again, because I'm wondering how much is coming off in Apple, how much, or all of the mags. They've really suddenly done very well leading up to this Friday's expiration. NVIDIA popping from 195 to 210, now coming back down, but still, we're just seeing a lot of things come to fruition here. And maybe that'll help get this fourth wave in and then build up to that fifth wave. The other thing that I've really been working on and just kind of see is like, is there a different way that I can count this in terms that it's not necessarily going to be in this diagonal? And even if I can't even go 1, 2, 1, 2. I just got to do ABC. I can't say 1, 2, 1, 2. First of all, that 2 goes below the starting point of wave 1, and wave 1 would be 3. So it's just kind of very difficult. So to say, ABC, okay, I can put this. It's just a really difficult count. Even if I put it there, yeah, it's very difficult. I could put it's just hard to kind of put 1, 2, and then that a 1, and that's a 2. That doesn't work. So I'm trying to work just to see if there's a different way to count this, because this is very dynamic. It is 5. This kind of was 5, so it's a 5, 3, 5 zigzag. And these are kind of just 3 waves, but they're not zigzags. They might be if I really study them. This is 3 because it's correction. So again, it is presenting a lot of challenges, being that it is the minute fifth wave going up, and that minute fifth wave is going to, here in the NASDAQ, finish in minute wave 5, minor wave 5, intermediate wave 5, primary wave 3. And so we're looking for sizable correction once we're done with this extremely finishing dynamic rally to kind of just take us up to all-time highs, new all-time highs, and new all-time highs again. So how am I going to leave this? Here's the preferred. The preferred is I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt that the market will follow through tomorrow, right? And if that happens, then yes, I'd be looking for it to get up there, squeak out another new high. If it doesn't, then it's ending in a slight failure. Still workable to finish this third wave. Now, what's the alternate? The alternate is that the 3 goes here, the 4 goes here, and the 5 goes here. That high. And this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. First 5 down. Let me see if that kind of works out. Go down to the 15-minute and let me take a look. So if we put it up to here, the 3, it could put the 3, 4, and then stick the 5 over there. I know it's ugly, but I can go it this way. See, look at it on the line chart. Wow, see, it makes a big difference. So 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You could probably squeak it out. Put a 5 there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. First 5 down. And this is a wave 2. That's my alternate, by the way. That's my alternate. So again, taking it back, putting it back on the bar chart. Either way, I think either it's done. So here's the other thing. We come in tomorrow morning, and then overnight, Europe gets a hold of all this and decides no. And we get up tomorrow and we're down, sizably down. They've taken Apple, pushed it all the way back. They've taken Amazon, pushed it all the way back down. All the rest of the stocks that thought they'd participate with them today get pushed all the way back down, and we continue to decline. Because that would be the deal. It would be 1, 2 coming down, and it would be that third. And that's also very possible, because then I would put the minuet wave 3 up here, and then the C wave on top of it, and then, this fifth wave, the C wave, and then the minuet wave 3 up top. And then we're starting that minuet wave 4, which we already know because I've talked about it, is that once in motion, if it is going to be within this diagonal pattern, then it has to overlap wave 1. And just to kind of just reinforce, the possibilities here, let's just kind of go and look at that. Oops, if I have to go and put it there. Look at 618 comes just above it, 786, and if I could just change that, it's going to change it just a very little bit. Because I've been told that 764 is what everybody's using now. I'm going to show you. Then you see it is overlapping. And it's 24,873.75. So it is. It's like, it's a decent fall. But don't forget, before these earnings reports came out, the NASDAQ during regular session closed at down 300 plus points. Right now, in that little extra hour, it went up 266. Funny how they do that instead of just leaving it up, still down that I think was like 113. They're going to mark it up 266. Funny how they do things, but that extra hour, there you go. So that's where we're going to start. So if we go up a little bit more and then decide to crack and come all the way back down, well, like Apple, it's already back. It's already dropped 3-4 off of its high. So they're already starting to bring it back down. What to do. So anyway, showing you that yes, it could overlap, and yes, it would still be a fourth wave, and we expect it to overlap. So leaving this as such, the I hate to say preferred, but one count is that it's 3-4, and we're going to come back up and make a slight new high if possible. We have additional resistance at 26,689. Now, since it came up 266 off of that low that we saw earlier, what is another? 500 points between friends. So 26,689, very possible. Or we only make it straight up to here. Maybe we get a little bit above this resistance, and we come and put a slight new high above that one, which is 26,399, which, by the way, was in Globex overnight today. So we went from from 26,399, and our low for the day was 25,853. It was a pretty big move. And we might just do it a favor and go back to that level tomorrow or overnight. Who knows? I am looking for a pretty dynamic October expiration, by the way. And maybe that'll also be enough to just release a lot of gamma. And so we get all of that expiring and things just kind of do a little shift lower. To be determined. That's about all I really have today, other than I really have been working through a lot of stuff just to see other possibilities within this diagonal triangle, but it just doesn't seem to be coming through. We do have one number that will be released tomorrow, and that is going to be Chicago Business Bureau PMI. It's a PMI, and that's at 9:45 a.m. And we have three Fed officials out speaking, doing remarks, and also speaking at some function. Personal income and consumer spending plus PCE index will not be released because the government is still shut. Looking forward to that changing. And our gamma levels will be updated tomorrow via the morning update. So that's going to be about it. The only thing I really could add is what I did in the other one, as I was talking about Apple and what really was trading today. First of all, I wanted to just make note. Here we are down into here. These are the in the monies. I rarely have seen Apple with an implied volatility. This actually popped up a little bit more. The implied volatility to finish today and going into tomorrow is 83.50%, 83.5%. While in Apple, rarely have I seen that this high. I've seen 50, 60, but 83, that's pretty dynamic. Now, then when I saw it flip to 280 as easily as it did, I went over and I looked. There you go. The open interest in that was 19,000 coming in today. And with the market up $1.70, yep, they got pushed, but they got pushed probably a little bit harder early in the morning. And so there's a lot of purchasing. And so they ended up trading 54,000, almost 55,000 today. Those may be in the money tomorrow for expiration. So that you start to see a little bit of activity happening. And then just the volume that we saw in these other options. I mean, going out today, 275 was out of the money. Going out today, 277.5 was out of the money. Now suddenly they're in the money. So it's going to be an interesting expiration, at least in Apple. We'll see what happens. Or it'll get sold out prior to the market opening for us tomorrow. All right, that is going to be it. Our next update will be tomorrow morning.